to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn. Yes, that's him. And so I know you're not used to seeing us on a Sunday, but we're doing something different. We decided to review Family or Fiancé. I think somebody suggested that we review that anyway, and the season just started, so we're going to do episode 2, and this episode was While Jesus Saves, She Misbehaves.
Yeah, but before you do that, before we get into review, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews, whether it's Married at First Sight, whether it's Family or Fiancé. And let us know what you think about us reviewing this show. So, now you go.
While Jesus Saves, She Misbehaves. And here we are looking at the relationship of Alexis and Danley.
Yeah, two very young couple who started in 2011. They met at the motor vehicle, as she said.
At the motor vehicle, which we later found out was the Department of Motor Vehicles, because Danley clarified.
He definitely clarified.
So they met at the Department of Motor Vehicles in 2011, and they had a nice little relationship, except for the fact that Alexis called herself, quote unquote, she was crazy and controlling.
Yeah, and we saw that in this episode. She's still crazy and controlling.
Yeah, which does not, I don't know why they got back together in 2015, because she didn't change.
She didn't change any.
Yeah.
Well, but they roll up to this nice house, which if you've never seen the show, is a nice mansion type house, swimming pool, fireplaces all throughout. So it's a nice house, and they go into the house for 3 days, and they bring, each one of them get to bring 3 family members or friends to, share their opinions about why they should get married or why they shouldn't get married, whether they support it or don't support it. And so Alexis bought
her mom, Vanita, her grandma, Reverend Mary, and her uncle Shannon. And grandma is a reverend to her heart.
Boy, grandma is really spiritual. Really spiritual. But we'll get on grandma. And Danley bought his cousin Tiffany, his best friend Chanel, who's is a guy, and then his friend Raynell, right,
who's a female.
And one of the issues is that Danley is Haitian, and he's a Catholic. Yes. And then you have Alexis, who's a Christian. And that was one of the biggest issues that they had in their relationship starting out. When we first get into meeting Danley and Alexis, one of the biggest issues was that he was Catholic and Haitian, and she was Christian, grew up in a Christian household. I believe somewhere she said Danley was her first boyfriend, if I recall.
Yes, she did.
And that he's her first boyfriend. Now, 25 years old, first boyfriend, growing up in a Christian family. So you know what kind of family she kind of had. It was real tight on her being in relationships. So Danley's her first boyfriend. And so they have to deal with that issue. And Grandma Mary, who comes out and just says all Haitians are devils basically, and they work in voodoo. And I'm like, what? She said
Haitians come from a wicked background.
From a wicked background.
And she says she's concerned about souls, and she wants him to be saved. And if you don't have now listen,
I don't mind nothing.
We're Christians and we're saved. I don't have no problem with it. But
Grandma was a little.
She was rough with it.
She
said, if you don't have God at the head of your relationship, it ain't never gonna work out. We're gonna have problems, and he needs to get saved. And I mean, I don't have no problem with it. It's just the way she said it. With loving kindness have I drawn thee, is what the scripture says. And she was.
Grandma was rough with, but she wasn't. The one thing is she wasn't trying to embrace him, and she grouped the whole culture,
right,
a group of people into a group which, as he mentioned, do the research. Everybody who's Haitian don't practice voodoo. Everybody who's Haitian doesn't work in the wicked realm. And Grandma didn't even get a chance to know Danley before she already made her opinion on Danley, that he works in voodoo, his family works in voodoo, and it's never going to work out. And that's my issue. Grandma needs to get to know Danley and know who he is as a person, and work on the salvation thing later. But that's a whole different, that's a whole different ball of wax. But work on that thing later. But now him and Alexis has to be able to be compatible in relationship, and I think that's what Dr. McMillan was talking about. This is one of the group therapies they had. Alexis had to go cook dinner.
Yes.
With Danley's family.
Some Haitian dishes.
And Grandma really like, ooh, Haitian dishes. I want some American dishes. What's wrong with Haitian dishes? How you hate something before you even try it?
Right.
And then Danley had to play, I guess it was
It's the Tower of Truth.
The Tower of Truth,
it was
like a
Tower
Jenga.
of Truth, so it's like a big Jenga game.
Like a big Jenga had questions written on it. And so they asked questions with Danley. And also Alexis had Danley's family. And we found out that Alexis is spoiled.
Oh, yeah. Her friend, Danley's friend Tiffany was like, what do you think you are, Princess Di? She said no, but I am the Queen of Sheba.
I am the Queen of Sheba.
Like, she want Danley to cater to her, and he takes care of me type of thing, and, you know, like, caters to me. And Danley's family was not feeling it. They were like, you talk a whole lot about you, and what he does for you, and what needs to be done for you, and you like insecure, and you want his passwords to his cell phone, but you go in the bathroom and answer text messages, and then you delete them before he can see them.
Like, why do you delete those? Why delete them? Because I don't want him to see him, and so we don't have to get into an argument. Like, what are you gonna get argued for? You're hiding stuff from him, but yet you want him to give you his passwords. And what I didn't like about that was that she wants him to bend over backwards for her.
Right.
And it wasn't a reciprocal thing in relationships. And we know in relationships, it has to be reciprocal. Can't be a give all the time, or take. It has to be both. And she wasn't willing to give. She just wanted to take. Whether it was Danley's emotion, whether it was time, whether it was his feelings, she was a taker. Yeah. And you got some people in relationships who are just takers. And it didn't just start relationships. If you look at her, she's the only child.
Yeah, she mentioned that. I'm an only child. Maybe that's what it is.
So she's always been catered to for all her life. Mm-hmm. She's always had everybody's attention. Mm-hmm. And so now she wants Danley to focus just on her. And we found out Danley's a hard-working man. He works at night. He goes to school during the day. He sleeps, works again, and repeat.
He said, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
And she wants more time from him. He was like, all my time that I have free, I'm spending it with her. And he was like, I'm always up under her. Uncle Shannon was like, well, how you feel about doing that for 30 years? He's like, I don't know.
Don't know about that. Well, she got to realize, too, that he's trying to get a career. They're both 25 and 27. He's trying to get a career for the long-term goal. And it may take him not being with her for a minute and working on his studies. Cybersecurity, that's a great field to get into. That's a lot of money. So he has to put in the work. He has to put in time on the computer. And she got to understand that the time that he's staying away from her, putting into work, getting his degree in cybersecurity, is going to be investment for them as a couple later. Mm-hmm. And then she has to be okay with that. Yeah. And he also got to have a balance, but he got to be okay with him not spending every waking moment catering to her needs.
Yeah. So, I think Alexis' family got a better perspective of Danley. They got to know him a little bit more. Same thing with Danley's family and friends with Alexis, and they came out of that making dinner with not having her in a good light, because she really came off as spoiled. And one little funny thing that I saw about that is, so it was time to eat, and Grandma comes in and she was like, what's that I smell? Is that rosemary? I don't like rosemary. What's that I smell in the food? Oh, it's thyme. Oh, I don't eat thyme. I don't like thyme. I'm like, Grandma, come on. You don't give the food a chance. She'd have pretty much called the food wicked and evil.
Wicked and evil, yeah. Grandma was like, Grandma might have been on a fast.
Listen. All right, so that was day one. That was day one. And so then we go into day two.
Mm-hmm. And they met with Dr. McMillan, and they both shared their experiences with meeting the family. And Danley had his eyes open. You know, I really appreciate her family. And Alexis had her eyes open, like, look. And as she was talking to Dr. McMillan, they can't always cater to my needs. I mean, I gotta understand. I gotta respect him, respect his time, and I'm gonna try to do better. Right. Basically, what she said, I'm gonna try to do better. And Dan was like, you show me, just don't tell me.
Right.
Don't just tell me you're gonna do better. I need you to see you doing better and working and making progression. Mm-hmm. And so day two comes up, and they have the dinner.
Oh wait, no, back up.
Okay.
Back up. Because when they ate the Haitian food, okay, so somebody had to bless. Somebody had to bless the food. Let's go back to dinner. Let me backtrack just a little bit. So we thought this was hilarious. So they had to bless the food, and so Alexis' grandma, Reverend Mary, she said, "Well, I want the Lord to let me know who to."
You see, I usually ask the Lord to let me know who He wants to pray. Yes. So the Lord told her for Alexis to bless the dinner.
For Alexis to bless the dinner. And so any of y'all, if y'all have kids, y'all know this. So she goes to bless the food, and she says she's 25
years old.
She says she's a Christian. She grew up in church.
Yeah.
Her grandma's a pastor. Grandma asked her when she came in the house the first time, did you pray before you left? Did you pray before you got on the plane?
Did you read your Bible? Yeah.
Did you read your Bible? Did you pray?
Yeah, I prayed.
So she's supposed to, she said she prayed, she read the Bible. So she's supposed to be deep in this thing. And so she goes to bless the food. And she says, God is great and God is good. But I'm thinking, okay, she starts it like that. No. She did the whole toddler grace.
But Danley's sister looked at her, I think it was his sister Tiffany.
His cousin.
His cousin looked at her like, what? For real? I was like, yo, you 25 years old. Who does that at 25? Oh. Even if you don't do anything else, she'd be like, God bless my food. I mean, you don't do the God is grace, God is. I'm not knocking anybody. If you don't any of y'all out there,
man, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
If you grown an adult and you a so-called Christian, you're grown up in Christianity. No grown-up blesses their food like that.
God is grace. Even if you be like, man, God just bless this food, let it be a nourishment to my body. Done. I mean, whatever. But you don't say God is great.
Not God is great and God is good. That's like and we thank you for our food.
That's like going to bed to now lay me down to sleep.
Listen.
My soul the key.
Listen. And as an adult, I don't have no problem with the now I lay me down to sleep. If you gonna say something else after that. If that's your introduction, if you say,
oh, gosh.
but that was funny to us. I was like, I can't believe this grown up said this. But anyway, so we go to day 2.
Oh man, day 2, they the family, they get together. They had sitting there at the table and they talking about insecurity. The biggest day for day 2 was insecurity.
Right.
Alexis talks about she wants to get his passwords to his phone and password to his emails, and she want to check into his passwords. Now, come on, y'all. I understand. Not in a relationship, but this dude has not done anything to let you know he's cheating.
Right, it's like you're looking for something.
You're looking for something. Why you need my passwords? My phone stays unlocked. You go on my phone and you check my. He hasn't done anything, and you want his passwords. And then Tiffany brought up a good point. Girl, if he wanted to cheat on you, you can get all the passwords that you want.
It don't matter. He gonna find a way to do it.
He gonna find a way to do it, which is totally true. Whether you got your man's password or can get in his email, that's the email that he gave you. That's the email that password
he might have another one.
He may have another email. May have another Gmail account.
Or he might not.
He may not. Or he just may not be cheating. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we've been married for a while, and the wife want to get my emails. Cool. I ain't cheating on nobody. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to understand that. And have trust in a relationship that you shouldn't have to be checked behind your spouse or your mate 24/7, making sure that he or she do the right thing. And that's what the family said. Like, yo, you talking to him like you're a little kid.
Oh yeah, they
like,
went
he's a child.
Yeah.
He's not a child. He's a 27-year-old man. And if any arguments you have, talk with each other with respect and dignity.
Yeah, that was grandma's thing. I mean, and they had a blow up. They had a blow up at the table. Everybody. Not just Danley's family. Everybody felt like it was disrespectful. She got in his face.
Yeah, she pointed
blah,
his face.
blah, 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 blah. And he was like, look, that's it.
Yeah,
you ain't going to talk to me like that.
And as a man, I'm glad he said that. You're not going to talk to me like that. And that's what, I mean, he didn't put hands on it. He didn't even fuss with it. He just like, yo, I'm not going to be talked to like that. And you're going to talk to me with respect. And that's what, as a men like to respect. Want respect from the woman, and women should get respect from the man. And at the same time, have conversation. Up in each other's face, pointing, cussing, fussing. There's no need for that. You got to be respectful. No matter, they're not even married yet.
No.
This is the person that you want to marry in the next couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, and y'all arguing over the security or arguing over the emails and addresses, and you getting hot like that. What happens if he loses his job? Or what happens if y'all can't make ends meet? What happens? I mean, how serious does it get? Then you're arguing over emails and a password for a man who's never cheated on you, who spends all his time with you. He's never giving you a time. And this is your first relationship. I have to go back to that. This is your first relationship. So you have never been cheated on before. You have no reason. So where are you getting the idea that all men cheat?
So, they didn't say anything about her. And I'm not making no assumptions. But we don't know what she saw in her mother's relationship.
Yeah.
We don't know what she saw in her grandmother's relationship. Uncle Shannon seems pretty nice, but we don't know how Uncle Shannon used to be or maybe is still. Somewhere or another. She might have got it from TV.
Maybe got it from her friends.
They are her friends, but I mean, for her to be going in like this, you would really feel like Danley had done something before.
He did something. I know women we see on TV that who cheated and don't even do all that.
Yeah. So
people change their numbers and stuff.
And it's funny that she would act all ugly like that and everything because Grandma had cast the devil out the house already. So
Grandma woke up and she said, "You want to watch this?" And Grandma had cast the devil out, stood by the door, and every demon that was in there had to leave. So I guess Grandma cleansed the house for the next couple who was going to come in.
And poor Alexis brought him back in.
And poor Alexis brought the devil back in, but Grandma would look. She I'm just praying, and she shocked. She shook back in. Oh, okay, Grandma.
We're not making light. Like I said,
Grandma talking about voodoo. Hey, voodoo. Grandma shook like something just jumped in. Hey, look, it is what it is. Grandma, everybody got their own prayer.
We're saved and we're Christians, and I was just like, it made me chuckle because people, because if people don't know, I know it looks silly to them. It looks silly
to me.
It looks silly to people. So I was just like, Grandma, can we be a little mainstream Christian today?
Grandma old school.
Yeah.
She old school. But, and then we get to, that day 2. Then you get to day 3, and it's like, we're at decision time.
Well, that night they kind of had it out, and Danley was like, are you going to change? She was like, well, I can't change overnight, but I'm going to try my best to make some changes. And he was like, if you're going to change, that's fine. If not, it's like, I don't think we're going to last. It's going to be over. She was like, that's fine. And he was like, oh, your attitude stinks. You just like, that's fine? Really? And I think that moment right there really did it for Danley. He was like, I think in his mind, he was like, you know what?
Yeah, you're not the one.
I think he did.
Yeah.
And so the next day, we're going to day 3, and Miss Tracy McMillan, she sits down and talks to them. And Alexis kind of spouts the same thing. Oh, I get it. I was disrespectful. I'm trying to take the criticism. I know I have things that I need to change, and I'm going to try my best to change. And Danley's like,
But at least she recognizes. There's some people that don't realize that their stuff stinks. And she recognizes it, but I think she doesn't know the process it takes to change.
Well, the one thing Miss Tracy said is that when we get into this space on the 3rd day, when you've had these meetings with family, and she said 1 or 2 things happen. She said when we come in here, I can feel from when the person's talking that they get it, that things are going to change. Or she said sometimes we sit in this room and there are tears. And she was like, I don't see neither one of them. I'm not feeling you. She said, I didn't get that feeling. And I don't see no tears. You still look the same. Like, I'm going to try to change.
And that's what Danley felt like. Yo, I don't think you're genuine.
Right.
I think you're just giving me, you whistling Dixie, or you just give me what I want to hear. But there's no evidence of that you really understand the severeness of what you have done or what you're saying, and how you're affecting me as a man, and how our relationship is kind of volatile. If you're going from 0 to 60, just like that.
Yeah.
And then when you're not the princess, there's a problem.
And so they go from Tracy into trying to get the blessings from the family. And so they started with Alexis' family. They started with Uncle Shannon.
Yeah.
And Uncle Shannon was like, I got a chance to get to know Danley, and I appreciated that. And basically, he was like, Alexis, you a spoiled brat. Like, you don't get that man no respect. My concern was that I want him to provide for you. He seemed like a good guy, but all in all, no, you don't get my blessing.
And talking about insecurities. I mean, the whole theme of her family was trust and insecurity.
Right.
If you go into any relationship, you ain't got trust, and you ain't got you dealing with insecurities, it's not gonna end well. We watched the TLC, Left Eye and Andre Rison's story a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest issues in their relationship, was trust and insecurities. And any relationship, if trust and insecurities are present, your relationship's not gonna last.
Right.
And you have to be able to get that taken care of first in order to trust that person, whether they're out all night, whether they're at a meeting at work, whether they go out of town for work, whether they're hanging out with their boys or hanging out with their girls. You got to be able to trust that person is doing the right thing by you, not sitting at home worrying, complaining. A little married at first sight situation, like Amber with Matt. We got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Amber with Matt last year didn't trust him, but she was always sitting there. So trust was the biggest thing that everyone said. What Grandma said, what her mom said, what Uncle Shannon said.
What her mom was trying to say.
What her mom was trying to say. Until she got interrupted.
Oh boy. I was like, come through, Danley.
Yeah, she got interrupted.
Danley said, hold on.
Stop the presses.
And what'd he say?
He said, well, give me my ring back. I was like, oh, did he just take the ring back? Now, I do have a problem with that.
I don't.
I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with that.
Okay.
If you gave her the ring and y'all going to be engaged, this is why I got a problem. Because I'm going to have to skip to the end of the show. All right, y'all, he could have said what he said without necessarily taking the ring back. The marriage is on hold, but we're still engaged. But he said, we're not even engaged anymore, but I'm not breaking up with you.
Right.
I don't understand the difference. Because, and mind you, they still live together. So the engagement to me is like, okay, I'm taking my ring back. We're done. You don't take the ring back unless you're done. And now there's a dude. Now, unless you're done and you plan on giving it to somebody else. Now, keep the ring. Let's work on this thing. Let's go to counseling. We're still engaged, but we're going to push the wedding date back.
But what he said was, he took the ring back because he said, I don't feel like you're ready to be married. I don't even feel like you're ready to be engaged. Because being engaged means that I'm working to the point of getting married. He was like, I don't even think you there ready to be engaged. Mm-hmm. And for us to work towards a marriage, because the thinking is we're going to be engaged and we got a year and a half or 2 years before we set a wedding date. And so his thing was, you're not ready to be engaged to work towards marriage, because we got to work on a relationship, period. Right. And I like what Miss Tracy said. She said, everybody in there was kind of shook up, like he took the ring back. Me as a woman, I understand him taking the ring back, because women do it all the time. I don't want to be engaged to you. They get a ring back. Why is it different for the man to ask for it? Miss Tracy put it in perspective, because everybody's like, why'd you have to take the ring? And she was like, guess what? We came into this process for decisions to be made. If that's his decision, it is what it is. Because what he said was, this is a consequence of your actions. Mm-hmm. I need to put my foot down and let you know I'm not taking no stuff from you. This is foolishness. I'm not taking it. So I'm going to take my ring back. And Miss Tracy said, what you have to understand is Danley is saying this is the end of that engagement. And I'm ready to go into a new, different engagement. And
I like how she put that, and I agree. I totally agree with that point. When she said that when my mind changed, like, okay, I understand now. Okay, what he meant and what she was trying to do. Okay, let's start this part of our life, this chapter all over again, and let's do it the right way, and the way that we need to do it to make sure it makes sense for us, and that we're gonna move in the right direction. But I need you to be a part player, a vital role in this relationship. I need you to realize that, look, your consequences of your actions could end our relationship. Right. And whether you want to be with me or not, I'm not going to let you talk to me that way. You're not going to put me down that way. And we're going to do work better to get time together. So when she said that, I understood it. Initially, my thought was like, dang, dude. You know, my initial thought was like, yo, that's kind of, you embarrassed on TV. You took the ring back. Yeah. And one thing about, she was just like, she was solid face. She was like, okay. Like, cool. No problem. Which I think she understood. Right. Why he did what he did. Yeah, because I mean, it went back to their conversation the night before, but so in the end, they didn't get anybody's blessing. Danley didn't want it. He was like, she needs to know that this can end at any time. And so in the little follow up, we find out, okay, so Danley got baptized, didn't say he got saved. Yeah, that's a whole different podcast. Because grandma said he needed to get saved. They say he got baptized. Yeah, that's a whole different discussion. I know we're not gonna do that today, but he got baptized, and they're still together. They're still together, and they still live together. They still live together. But there's no engagement, no plans for the wedding. No plans for the wedding. And then the last thing was Alexis got all his passwords all over again. Yeah, she got all the passwords. He gave them to her, so he gave her passwords again, which means he's trying to work on a relationship and he's giving her what she wants. So we'll see. Hopefully there's an update later on at the end of the season on the couples to see how they are. If we find an update on Danley and Alexis, we'll definitely let you know. I hope you enjoyed our family and fiance review. I'm going to try to do more of these, trying to branch off a little bit from Married at First Sight. But always check out our Married at First Sight reviews if you enjoy Married at First Sight. Also check out Family and Fiance. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification, and subscribe to the Jack and Glenn channel. Bye. Bye.